Vulnerability. Wow. I just feel so vulnerable just sitting in front of the camera right now. For some reason it feels more vulnerable than many other times. And maybe it's also because the last few days have been very emotional for me. I feel like I'm purging, I'm releasing a lot of stuff, a lot of old energies and old emotions and pains and wow, full on. And I guess that makes me feel really vulnerable because I'm in a very vulnerable state. And even more so because today is actually a pretty special day, and I'll explain this in a little bit. But I just want to sit here and talk to you freely and without a big agenda about vulnerability and what it means to make ourselves vulnerable and why I do it all the time here on YouTube, on Instagram, my gosh, and how it has changed my life. Because it's been a wild ride this past year of me discovering these, not actually discover, but more like exploring these vulnerable parts of myself that I felt so ashamed of for so long. And then I did this 30 days of vulnerability challenge in January this year when I was in California, maybe you guys remember. And I made a video every day about something that I felt ashamed of or embarrassed of. And there was a time leading up to that, yes, where I had already started to share more, but that was like the culmination of it, the peak of the iceberg. And since then, it's just been more and more and diving deeper into all of this and really always asking myself the question, like, what is my truth and what happens if I share it? And it's been so beautiful. Not always easy, but, and so many people, they, you know, on like my Instagrams or when I make a vulnerable video, they're always like, oh, Conni, you're so brave. And I do take that as a compliment, but I don't want to be considered I don't want people to look at me and be like, oh, she's so brave. I do this because I have to. I turn my insides out. I share myself out loud on social media because I'm called to do it. I don't really have a choice. It's not like, it's so weird to explain. Maybe that's what they mean, you know? When they talk about calling and finding it, or actually when it comes and finds you. I think that's what happened actually. I just made myself ready over all these years for it to come find me, and maybe that's what it is. How do we ever know that we know something? Who knows? So for me, vulnerability really is about feeling that fear of sharing myself in my most raw, most emotionally naked form, and knowing that it's like I'm presenting myself and opening myself and letting down all my guards, not knowing what you or other people or whoever that might be, or a partner or a friend, will do with that. It's literally, when I think about vulnerability, it's like this, you know, I just like, this is the gesture, I guess, that would come with it, like this. I just like open myself up and I show you everything that I'm ashamed of, that I'm afraid of, things that make me cry. And and then I see what happens. And what has happened for the most part, or actually all the time, is that it's been just such a beautiful process of me sharing, getting so much amazing feedback and support back, and feeling so much more connected to myself, feeling so much more connected to other people. And by sharing, and that's the most amazing part of it, and that's something I totally didn't expect when I started this journey, is that by sharing, by making myself this vulnerable and talking about depression, talking about my coming out, talking about my fear of abandonment or rejection, and all these other things that are a bit yucky, that feel like, fuck, it's scary to share. But by doing it, I'm de-shaming all of it. And because I carried so much shame in my life, this is a huge game changer for me. And it's so healing. And by de-shaming, I'm allowing myself to be who I am. And that's another thing that has been very painful for me throughout my life, to be ashamed of who I am, of my sexuality, of the way I look or want it to look, of my feelings, of any sort of emotions, of so much stuff, guys. Like, I could fill books. But what I'm saying is that by allowing myself to be vulnerable on this intense level on social media, and also with my friends and partners, my family, it's that I can finally be who I am. And that, after a life of hiding many parts of myself, rejecting a lot of parts of myself, that in itself is so liberating. It's the biggest freedom I ever imagined. And I had no idea this was in the cards or possible for me. So all I do now these days is really, I just speak from the heart. I live from the heart. I share fully. I live fully. I feel fully. There's no more judgment of being sad is bad. When I'm sad, I just feel sad, and that, you know, I just feel the sadness fully as it presents itself in my body. And today, man, I've been so sad. Like, I went to yoga this morning and I cried during the biggest part of it. There was tears coming down, or I could just feel it, like, oh. And that's okay, because I know I'm giving it space, so that then it can, you know, it'll pass. And I'm not judging myself for it. And to even be able to talk about this right now is something that, you know, I could have never talked about this a year ago or 2 years ago. Or gosh, thinking about who I was and how locked up in a prison I was 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And so I've learned so many things these past few months, but this past year, and throughout my journey of blogging and making videos, and, you know, on this path to my own vulnerability, that I decided to share more of it, more than just a video, more than just an Instagram. I want to share for several hours everything I know about vulnerability and how to live and share your truth. And so I'm giving an online workshop next week on August 2nd. And you can be part of it from wherever you are around the world. I want to bring a group of people together that are also willing to dive deep and learn about themselves and share their deepest truths. Because I believe it will free us all if more of us do it. If you want to be part of it, I'll put the link below in the video. Yeah. I don't know how to sell this online workshop right now, to be honest. If you're into it, then come along. There'll be replays. If you can't make the actual time of the workshop, no problem. You'll get a recording of it. But if you can make it during the online live workshop, then you can also ask me questions. There will be Q&A throughout. And I'm super excited because this online workshop, it actually marks a new era for me. It marks a new life. It marks a big step into the Conni that I am today and the work that I'm doing. And I think this is just a small part of something that's gonna grow really big. I don't know exactly yet in which direction, and but it's gonna, yeah. I feel like it's this little seed that I'm planting with this online workshop, and if you want to be part of that, then sign up, I guess. That's all I have to say. I'm so grateful for you to even just watch my videos and follow me along, and you know, comment or like my videos and whatever it is, in whichever way you interact or not interact. I know you're there, even if you never interact. I know you're there, and there's so much gratitude in my heart for all of you, because I can feel your energies, you know. It's not just about seeing how many people watch this. It's like I feel energies when people watch my stuff, because I know there's energy being exchanged. There's this energy I put into my videos, and there's this energy that you feel as you watch it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Life, guys, it's full of miracles. And if we allow ourselves to be more vulnerable, I believe that we also allow more miracles to come and enter our lives. So I'm just saying thank you, and I'm sending a lot of love from Bali. Let's keep breathing. Bye.